So it looks like you have a fugitive case. Oh, three cases. You picked up a fraudulent use of ID, less than 5 items. You picked up a theft case, and you have an out-of-state fugitive case.
How long has been dismissed as the fraudulent use of items?
Solid.
So technically, he's only got the theft pending and the fugitive case.
Kim, enlighten us.
Your Honor, this defendant is one out of Warren County, Florida, for felony. He would be opposed to a bond. There are 47 cycles of criminal history. Past 5 years alone, these are just
47 pages of criminal history in 5 years?
47 cycles on pages, is 46 pages of criminal history, including, well, California ones will count that one, but just in the last 5 years alone, these are just
They were not 47 in the last 5 years.
Hey, don't talk. I mean, we're just trying to, the thing is, Mr. Jones, is I have a very limited amount of time to try to get to know you. Everyone that comes in front of me tells me it's gumdrops and rainbows and little bunnies jumping in the woods, but the way I really get to know you is the paper, because that tells me who you are, right? If you're a dangerous person, if you're a person that I'm going to let go and you're going to continue with the criminality, I have enough trouble sleeping as it is. I don't want more blood on my hands. I don't want something else that can keep me up at night. So that's why. Well, look, this is how we get to know you. And he's telling me you got 46 pages of criminal history.
some in the past he's had 3 failure to appease multiple cases. He's had 2 habitation trespass convictions, DWLI, prosecution, battery, criminal damage, failure to give possession of drugs, but in 21 some odd cycle, or in 21 some odd years, 47 cycles of different offense, I just stopped schooling in 2020.
How many failure to appears do we have?
Your Honor, this one itself is ratio, according to the campaign.
Hey, John, can I say something?
Sure.
Okay, with the one you talking about with the failure to appear, I feel that was nonsense because of the simple fact that I flew from Fort Lauderdale up here after they said I had a warrant, and I went to court a couple of days before that. And is there documentary, sir? You can see that?
Judge, I will say this, he did explain that
How
to
old are
me.
you, Mr. Jones?
Well, 14 years old.
You're 40.
Yes.
How many cases has he picked up in total?
What he's been charged with, if you give me 10 minutes, I can count them, but it's not low. I mean, I start from 2004.
Theoretically, for every year you've been born, you had a case. You're 40 years old, you have around 46 pages of criminal history. So literally, for every year you've been born, it's like picked up a case. And not only that, you've got multiple failures.
Sometimes you don't think the jurisdiction will fail me?
Huh?
You don't think the jurisdiction will fail me?
The problem is, at some point, your actions become your own. You now have with us picked up a theft case here in Harris County. You've got an open case in another jurisdiction. You've got pages upon pages. So at what point is it on you?
When you pay your debt to society, why do they keep using it against you? I pay my debt to society for those,
Because it continues.
fires, okay?
Continues to happen. At some point, the A's are like, jail just doesn't work anymore. So that's when we got to go to prison, because this dude.
See, but prison don't help guys. That don't make them better. That makes them worse. Instead of tormenting them and seeing them, feeding them to the wolves, you have to sit down with that person to find out what's going on to help. So prison's not helping nobody. Prison is not.
I can't tell you how many stories I have read of people who get degrees, college degrees, even become a lawyer while they're in prison. So if you want it to help, then it will. But you gotta want it. If you
One bad is your honor.
if you have
The sad thing about it is, in the state of Florida with me, and that's why I left. Something happened and I have a couple of issues against the police. So now they giving me every chance of everything. But it's crazy. He said I have a warrant, and I flew from there after that warrant was proceeded. Proceeded they said I flew from Fort Lauderdale all the way to Houston, flew back down there, and flew back. And he said I have a warrant, and I flew and went to court for another charge down there.
I don't get it.
You know what? So
I don't know how that happened, but it's not supposed to. You know,
So
have it
what's the system felony? If I have a warrant, you may tell me they're gonna let me in their courtroom and see my judge, everything, and let me go, and let me get back on the plane to fly back here. Mind you, I flew from here and flew back down there. And let me do all of this with a warrant.
I can't explain that. I can't.
So that's the system felony somewhere, somehow. It's not me.
Let me talk to the judge real
But
fast.
Mr. Jones, if you have this woe is me attitude, it's never going to change. It's never going to change.
It's not helping. It's not helping. Y'all not helping society. Y'all always blaming me and this and that and the other. When he said, oh, he got punished for this. He wanted to cut stuff off. He said, well, only started in 2022. He's going to pass 2022. And I'm like, yo, but hey, that's what the prosecutors do. He's just doing his job.
Right. So he's
Judge, if I may,
sure.
points. First, you know, if he's finished up the cases that he has had in his history, he's had a history, okay, he's had a history. If he's paid his debt to society, like he says, if he's completed what he needs to do for those cases, that really should be relevant here. I would argue that in front of you, this is his first time being in front of you, right? And it looks bad that he has criminal history, yes, I get that. But if we were to just focus on whether or not he knew about this case, he's telling me he got on a flight, came over here, and it's a great question. If that happened, he would have had a warrant pending and would have been arrested.
Who
So,
was the warrant issued, do you know?
March 3rd, 2025, because it's a domestic flight, and obviously I don't, for TSA, I don't work on Homeland Security.
Just got issued.
just March 3rd, 2025, Judge.
The warrant was just issued in March of this year. So,
And I flew,
30 days ago it got issued.
I flew March 10th back up.
So, Judge, if that's the case, it hasn't been like he's been missing his responsibilities with
And
the
I went to
case.
court.
It's less than a month.
And you can also see that I went to court. I went to court for March 3rd. I went to court before then.
Judge, the warrant has
I was
been
in the
issued
court.
we're at April 1st, less than a month. And so it's not like he's been running. If the warrant's just been issued on March 3rd, I would ask that we afford this man an opportunity to make this right. He hasn't messed up in your eyes. Yeah, he's messed up in the past, but as far as the fugitive case is concerned, I'm asking for an opportunity for him to go to the humane jurisdiction. And then if he messes up, okay, well, yeah, we don't have much to say after that. But just throwing his history out there doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a chance.
I stand by no bond. He's at the whole history as well. Show the message I received from Florida is that he also has, he has violent tendencies, obviously reflected by the assault history, along with the, I don't have to go ahead and do, but the criminal history that he has.
When were the FTAs? How long ago?
The most recent failure to appears. Well, there's one from May 4th, 2023. There's one from December 7th, 2023. There's one from.
It's not on this case, though. Those are separate cases. We're not talking about on this case.
So, to be clear, not on this case.
Obviously not on this case. The problem is that it keeps happening. You know, and I can't continue to.
Sir, it's not keep happening, sir. Sir, this warrant, you said, sir, I'm gonna be honest with you. Another open case. And that one case is why I flew back down there. Went to court, finished court. They said I have a warrant. I go to the warrant district. They said I have no warrant. The warrant district. Get on a plane to fly back up here, and they said I had a warrant. Flying on a plane back down. So I got a flight.
Mr. Jones, even if I were to set you a bond,
No problem. Thanks.
easy money. There you go.
The second one where going to be well, just required the class. But yeah, Judge.
If you want to take it off, I will.
Yeah, on the second one, let's take it off. I'm concerned about hitting stuff and
That's the brain.
yes, Judge.
You want to go through the list?
Mr. Nelson has a warrant out of Florida. He did have a local case that was resolved this morning.
Just dismissed. Yeah, today.
Yeah, he's. I think.
No, I guess he pled. Right. Okay.
He put on that. He previously had signed a waiver 7 days ago, I think, but
March 31st.
March 31st.
Oh, that's it.
That's right. But anyway, his value of time is already accepted. He has a warrant for 40 from this before in Tennessee, and I did one extradited from Tennessee. They released him after 3 days. He's back in jail here in Texas now, obviously, for the same charge down in Florida, and he is a cancer patient, and he's wanting to grant him a PR bond so he can go back to Florida.
Well, I was happy.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it just so happened that you
sir.
you got a failure ID as well.
Yeah, but the failure ID was they pulled a gun on the guy they were looking for, and I was at the crosswalk. I wasn't there. They weren't stopping me. They stopped another guy. They were waiting for 3 days or whatever to get him. And then when yes, sir.
You know,
This is not our first time being here on this case.
He previously had a case in Tennessee.
The same charge.
Well, just a fugitive case in general, yes.
So that was in Tennessee. Now he's wanted out of Florida.
No. He had this exact same proceeding in Tennessee.
Meaning he was a fugitive in Tennessee because of Florida.
yes, he was incarcerated in Tennessee, and he had a hold on Florida. They chose not to extradite him at that particular time. He was released 3 or 4 days there.
How long ago was that?
How long ago was that, sir?
5, 6 years ago.
And after 5 to 6 years ago, you still haven't taken care of the case.
That was during pre-COVID, and we were coming back from Michigan. We were on our way down, and we stopped in Tennessee. I started working at the hotel, and they came in, and they said, out of the clear blue, looks like you got a warrant. And I go, what? Okay, so they took me in, they ran everything, they held me for 3 days, and they let me loose. There was no new charges or nothing.
Warrant for?
Domestic violence.
In Florida, he's wanted for a couple different warrants on bond revocation, domestic battery, strangulation, violation of free trial for domestic battery, violation of free trial for domestic battery by strangulation, failure to appear for domestic battery, strangulation, and threat acts.
That was back in
And it's been open for
12 years.
and you still won't go back?
No, we were going to go back. That was the whole thing. I was in
The
Florida.
only thing I'm waiting for you to say is that you were talking about aliens that have been
I'm not going to lie to you, sir. But we were going back. When COVID hit, actually, I was in Florida. That's where we went from Michigan to Tennessee down to Florida during the pre-COVID. And we were in Pensacola. And we were there for like 3 months. And we were waiting for the COVID to go, to stop, but it just didn't happen. So I ended up talking to a gentleman that had plenty of work for me across the country to go to all of his hotel properties, fix them, and find out why they were failing, why were they not making any money, what was going on. So that's what I've been doing.
Is Florida really more? Are they going to come get him? Or are we just playing games here? You know, because if they really want to get him, I'm going to hold. But if they're not going to come get him, then I'm not going to hold him. We have enough people in our jail as it is. So let's do this. The problem is, Mr. Nelson, you don't learn your lesson. You've repeatedly been arrested on this charge, and they've told you to go back, and you refuse to go back. So I can't, in good conscience, give you a bond when you refuse to comply with your court orders.
I understand that.
Just don't want to do it. You want to do what you want to do. And then, hey, if I happen to get arrested, they're not going to come get me anyways. So
No, I don't say that at all.
you don't say it,
Right.
but your actions say something different.
I understand. I do.
When people tell you stuff, it goes this year, it goes this, what matters? Outbursts.
So, with regards to Florida, I'm happy to check up on that. He does also have other warrants for other states. He has a conviction violation for Michigan and also
They're not coming.
Touching with states, man.
Oh, they already told the jail. They already made the call. They're not coming. They don't want nothing to do with it. It's already been.
They don't have a whole file right now, but he does have the other ones.
Those are from 2009. And I served my time on all of it, but it's just.
So,
I understand.
let's roll it to tomorrow. Please reach out to Florida and see, do you really want him? If you do, here he is. If not, can we, no, we let him on.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
I have a show.
Hey, I love your show.
I don't have a show.
I watch on.
I like it. Superstar.
We are approaching on Mr. Adelar.
Okay.
I wanted to ask about bond conditions.
Sean Mercier, I believe we gave him a $5,000 bond and picked up a joint offense for violating bond conditions. Your Honor, it turns out that the facts are right. He had stayed away with the police. There's nothing he was in this issue with. Her house caught on fire, burned to the ground. She called them asking for assistance. She said, hey, I don't know. I don't think I can talking to you. And then 2 days later, she got into a car accident where her vehicle was totaled. And she said, please, I have nowhere to go. Can you help? We said, look, I'll help you find some place to go, and I'll drive you there. And that's it. In the midst of driving her there, he was pulled over for no registration.
Oh, it's Murphy's Law is what it's called.
And she said, I've got that you.
You know?
He confirmed all.
Yes, just so.
Go ahead and bring it out. Bring it out. Adelar.
Judge, the prosecutor on the case did call the complainant. She pretty much gave nearly the exact same story of her having been down. She was just trying to get a ride. They have not had contact up until this point. So we are not ready to offer a plea today because it is a new case. But we are okay with PR bond at this point, just given the circumstances of the facts.
What do we do about conditions?
Conditions, we would still like to keep that no contact in place. It seems like they didn't have an issue up until this point with it, so we would just reinstate that.
We'll ask for a short reset, Your Honor, but speaking with the CW, she communicated to me that the whole thing was a misunderstanding. She feels safe around him, and honestly, she'd like them to be able to have contact. The way she communicated to me, the initial situation was they were arguing, a police officer was coming by, so she flagged him down so she could stay away from him. And then while talking to the officer, she showed him, like, look this man, he's saying he's going to do this for me. That's in the course of how they normally communicate to each other. She didn't feel afraid, the officer just took me to that.
How about the assault we talking? Happening soon.
So, Judge, I believe the case for us right now is a terroristic threat, so we're just looking at the third
What do you-
charge.
Jail.
Sorry.
It sucks, right? It's supposed to suck. That's what happens when you don't do what you're supposed to do. You can't do stuff on your own and think that good thing's gonna happen. What I was telling your lawyer, it's called Murphy's Law. What can happen will happen. I get that you may be trying to help someone, but a court order is a court order. And when you don't follow them, bad things happen. That's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe it's divine intervention that, like, you get pulled over right on the day that you're trying to do this. So, really. Now, both of them are in agreement for you to get a PR bond because, really, it's not a capital case. But you have to understand, court orders are court orders, and they're still there. If you want them taken off, if you want to do something different, you have a lawyer, and you ask a lawyer to help you out. But you just can't do stuff on your own and expect good things to happen. Now, the state is still asking for you not to have contact with this person as of right now. So I'm going to give you a PR bond now because they're both in agreement. I'm telling you now, you do this again, you will not get another one. I promise you. Everything that's holy. You understand. So if you want something, ask. We can always address it. We can always fix it. Just don't do stuff on your own. That's when it goes sideways. So, any questions? Okay, so I'll grant you a PR bond. We need it on both cases, I think, right? So, do you mind filing a new no contact order now? No weapons, no contact. Don't for the moment. Perhaps time will heal all wounds. Perhaps after some time, after she speaks to the complaining witness, things can change. Don't do it again. All right?
I believe there is a order for emergency protection in queue. It was filed with 30th. So it should be. Do you want me to file another one?
It's 255 1405. That's the initial test.
Yes, there was a second one signed on warrant.
And then
You okay with that?
he made all.
Okay, done.
Nice, Jay.
Made all of my already.
Oh, right. So we'll just leave, and I didn't do anything to the DPO, so we'll just give a PR bond on it.
So reinstate if you ever want.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And so just a reinstatement on the.
Whatever's easier. We good?
Yes.
Okay. So hold on, let me take. Okay, we're good. All right. Jason. So, Mr. Fisher, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. Second offense, you're also charged with failing to stop and give information. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 180 days in jail with 72 days credit on the DWI second, and they're going to dismiss, I would assume, the FSGI.
Right?
Got it. Is this what you want to do? You need to understand, Mr. Fisher, that from now on, if you pick up any more DWIs, you'll be looking at yet another felony. We're not asking for much, man. All we want our streets to be safe. Here, we have a second DWI and a crash. What's it gonna take? Kill someone? You know? Do you want to end up with a 50-year sentence? Next time you ever get into a car and you get pulled over, all officers do is they look at your record, and that's all they care about. So if they pull you over, they see that DWI, FSGI, DWI, possession, and they come to you and they smell alcohol or dope, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to be nice? Probably not. Don't get into a car and have anything to drink. You understand? Are you sure? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine the accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. This will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You can never take it off. Do you understand? How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated in second offense? I will find you guilty. I am going to suspend your license for 2 years. Do not drive until you get a license. Do you understand? All right, good luck. I don't know if you think that this is a joke, but you've been given a very, very generous program that if you complete successfully, they will dismiss this case. You have tested positive for multiple occasions or just once? Just once. This is Mr. I'm sorry, Canales. That's okay. Victoria, you're coming. That's my fault. How many times? That is unacceptable. If it were me, we'd be done. They see fit to put you into an intensive outpatient treatment. You have 2 weeks to enroll. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever test positive again, I'm going to immediately set your case for trial. You get no more recess. Do you understand?
Yes.
I want you to visit 2 times a week for the remainder. Okay? You will now be tested every Monday and Thursday for the remainder of this program. And if you use again, and I don't care what it is, and I don't care what your excuse is, you will be sent to trial. Okay. Do you understand? Okay. All right. Yes.
Is it okay if you test in that region or would you?
No, I'm okay, of course. Yeah, as long as he's doing it 2 times a week. Yeah, never understand on it.
Yeah, I got it.
Right here, the tone of this hearing quietly shifts. When a prosecutor says out-of-state fugitive and immediately follows it with opposition to bond, that's not just procedural, that's a warning label. The court isn't just asking, "What did you do?" It's asking, "If I let you go, will you come back?" And in bond hearings, that question carries serious weight.
Jail.
I don't like it.
You know, you failed to appear 2, if not 3 times for these cases. Listen,
I'm sorry.
all I'm trying to tell you is that when you appear for court, good things happen. We have such reasonable prosecutors here. All you have to do is show up, and 9 times out of 10, good things happen. But when you fail to appear repeatedly, you now are deemed a flight risk. This is what happens. You need to understand one more thing. As a result of what we're doing today, from now on, you are facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up here. Do you understand? You're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with terrorist threats of a family or household member. You're also charged with criminal mischief. The plea bargain agreement you have worked out, they're going to dismiss the criminal mischief. They're also going to reduce your terrorist threat to a Class B. So now you're facing only 180 days and or a $2,000 fine. $2,000 fine. Worked out an agreement. They're offering you 13 days in jail. Credit for the 13 days that you have done. By pleading guilty, like I said, this will reflect as a conviction. Do you understand? You're giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change it. Is this what you want to do? How do you plead to the terrorist threat? Guilty or not guilty? Guilty. I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to withhold, or I'm going to find you guilty, send it to you to agreement. The only other thing I'm going to tell you is that whatever you did to pick up these cases, I would be very careful. Because if you continue with the same course of conduct, it's very possible they charge you with a more serious offense. All right? Good luck, sir. And next time, show up. All right. Take care. You are Javier Guevara.
Yes.
Mr. Guevara, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for the 2 days that you have done. You need to understand that you're making a lifetime decision today where this DWI will be going on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. This is important because if you get pulled over in the future, the first thing an officer does is they look at your record. And if they see that you have a prior DWI, and they go to your window, and they smell alcohol, or they smell anything funky, it's probably not going to go well for you. And what we're doing today, from now on, you're facing a minimum of 30 days in jail. Do you understand? You understand?
Yes.
Even if you have a sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a work because it is a humongous risk. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, you cross-examine your accuser. You're not a citizen, we should consequence you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization, and under law you give up the right to appeal. That's why I said, once you plead guilty, goes in your record, will be there forever. Knowing all this, do you still want to do this?
Sabiendo todo lo que eres, viendo toda la información que le dio el juez, ¿quieres seguir?
Yes.
If you often drive while intoxicated, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
One more thing you need to understand, Mr. Guevara. DWI is big business in Texas. There's a $3,000 surcharge that would normally apply to you now as a result of you pleading guilty. And if you don't pay it, every $100 you owe, you 1 day in jail. I will waive that for you now because we all make mistakes. But I'm telling you now, if you continue to make mistakes where you endanger my public, the next DWI, it is a $1,000 surcharge. And like I said, if you don't pay it, $100 that you owe you 1 day in jail. Do you understand? If you want to get lit, take an Uber. I'm going to suspend your license for 90 days. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck to you, Mr. Senator State.
Well, they say how far, Mr. Alfaro?
Are you in on this as well? Okay. So, for purposes of the record, we're here. Today is set for a dispositive motion press on DWI second, and we are all in agreement that it is a dispositive nature. So, if the state loses, you dismiss. If you lose, you end up pleading. Correct?
Right, we already have actually worked out, which is a reduction to DWI first probation. And now I'm going to fire prosecutor that.
You're okay with it? Okay. You said you had some stipulations that you want to go over.
Yes, Mr. Davenport and I have some stipulations regarding the relevant times to speed up the testimony.
Okay.
I think she's got it written down. I'm not sure if she wants to read it into the record.
You mind?
Yeah.
Please.
3:40 a.m. on July 7th, the officers arrived on scene. At 3:44 a.m. in contact. The 3:46 a.m. was detained in custody of people. After 4,
You said it's a police station, so there's no investigation on the scene.
Then, is there DWI investigations?
Okay. So it's your motion.
I don't know if that stays. Do I think this was a warrantless arrest? Not, I can just call officers and establish that. Yes.
Right.
Right? Good job.
Fleischer,
Chad Johnson.
do you mind grabbing? Is he in the courtroom or is he outside? Please come up and stand and raise your right hand and sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Okay? Please mind taking a seat. If you don't mind, please speak loudly, clearly. If you hear the word objection, just stop until it's addressed and then you open. Okay? Okay, floor is yours.
Please state your full name, Chad Johnson. And when you work on the board on custody and police, how long have you been? 6 years. Do you ever have any special training experience for that? Fugitive. Can you kind of briefly describe what that training involves? You don't feel the CCP, UWIs, it's not don't meet with him. Basically, anything that we use or not really. Do you have your experience prior to working at the police department? No, I'm the law enforcement. Approximately how many DWI stations? Approximately how many DWI stations have you been part of? Projects. Do you recall two DWI stations you were part of on July 7th, 2024? Specifically, how did you get involved in CPR uniform today? This one, CPR or service. We'll clarify with you outside. subject was time all the dying, travel, sleep, trying to feel. And when you see what once we have people, we have to for restarting the top one, stop, track, sleep, the necessary, watching our lives all the time, and you know, those are successful, that's the point where being on top of us. We are not a vehicle, so we have to go work through, and we'll run. Right, it's best time to get indicate your major suspicion of something particular crime that might be trying possible life. Normally, if you're not all safe, real, all vehicle, especially with the chaos time, people still die. So I don't also because you are you play your company stuff. So if you off rock outside on the way so the history book much better now. We have slowly how the THC off and rolling to after office and their patrol. There was the sound patrol vehicle. Yeah, the door, I can be the vehicle, voice to the park. Yeah, the mouse. Then, when you go to the jealousy game, it's not freedom. That's why you sure I want to go all and you see them from these property machine. And what did you do next? I posted a video on dashboard off a couple of things. One was available. Those sides that you said you did from the contact with based on your experience, what is that going to do? You said you contacted me to be on up to Maryland. Exactly. Because I know I thought no. Usually people and we want to travel I was personally comfortable in the photograph first one video or the traffic off and soon for the video I will so you said how many geographic stations how many geographic stations have you taken all of here? Well, very easy. Work. Yes. We lost it. How long would you say it takes you to take a geographic stage check? It took me several. And it was just in relation to one. And how long did you drive from the stage to the station? You just clarify, why did you decide to move to the same street? So, why? Same with the investigating for the health. I didn't see that in the usually station that no and you tell by getting your thoughts next. Well, conditions of them. But usually, war I see when you surround the time. In the ground, anything like that. You might also, usually, actually, talk to, find me, a lot of the see, well, that. People think,
Think that's the news, John. Hold on a second. You said when he got out of the car, he stumbled back or crashed or something?
Drive. Once you woke up from the shop and you split off and roll
Except Roden, you got you crashed into the other car.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, that's the only thing I wanted. Okay.
See? What is it? So, can you describe in general your role in this investigation?
I was supervising and I was deciding or something.
Okay. Fair to say he was pretty deep sleep, right? And I've seen very little time was spent with Mr. Alvaro, is that right? Okay. Now, you said you've done approximately 5 DWI investigations?
Yes, there was.
Okay. You've done this training. You know that the second stage of this training is called the personal contact stage, right? Do you recall what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. You know that in any investigation, it's important to spend time with the person that you're investigating and try to distinguish illegal from legal behavior, right? And in literature terms, that's one of the things that the mixing manual teaches you how to do, right? Yes? Because it's not illegal to drink and drive, it's only illegal to drink and drive while you're intoxicated, right?
That was true. Or violation.
Well, we can agree that in not all.
You are. Yes,
Okay. Well, in general, not every time somebody drinks after having consumed alcohol, not every time are they committing a crime, right? Okay. Now, in this case, you were dealing with somebody who was asleep and was roused out of sleep, right? And it won't be surprising if that person exhibited things like red eyes, right? Yes, it would not be surprising. Okay. That they appear maybe a little disoriented, right? And you say that the speech was slurred, but you've never met Mr. Alfaro before, so you don't know how he really talks, right? Okay, but would it surprise you that especially on the station where the audio is more free, speech doesn't appear slurred at all? Alright, so in the time that you spent with Mr. Alfaro at the scene, it wasn't enough to distinguish whether the symptoms were from alcohol intoxication, possible alcohol intoxication, or just being roused out of deep sleep, right? I understand that, but in general, after such a brief amount of time, that wouldn't necessarily be enough to convince yourself this is just a person that woke out of deep sleep, right? Alright. Did you write an offense report in this case? One minute, Jim. Just me? The prosecutor. Hey, your offense report actually doesn't say anything about arresting him for impeding a roadway, does it?
That's not what it does.
And Officer Romer, who's the lead officer in this case? Okay, and was his understanding the scene was being moved to the scene to continue the DWI investigation? Actually, I understand, Josh. If you know. I'll witness.
Anything further?
Yes, sure. I'll shoot. This is a public roadway. Did you, with any other facts that you said initially that in terms of these witnesses, you have been suspicion of DWI. But any other facts gave rise to the station? Alright, what did you get by? You question. Yeah, and I will encounter. Yes. Very good. So, Sean will go. I slowed myself to learn from the drink into talk. Yeah. So, you got the drink and so, and then it's see if that's the right shot. No problem, Jeff.
Someone mentioned something about an open container. Was there an open container or
No.
okay, alright. You're excused. Subject to recall, anyone? Subject to recall. Okay. If you don't mind, please just wait outside the jury. Okay. State any other witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. I was still trying to grind words.
Do you mind grabbing? Alright. You don't mind coming up to the witness stand and raising the right hand? You always swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and to yourself and God. Alright. If you don't mind to speak loudly, clearly, if you hear the word objection, just stop until we address it, and then you make it. Okay? Alright. See.
Your Honor. If you say full name correct, Ryan Angel. When did you work? Well, you know. How long did you work? How long was that? Do you have to have any special training to do that? And what's your strategy? Yeah. We call for force and what's special training is people. So, we can draw that something more. So, and what types of special training you have to do? See, you are the source, yes. These guys are keen. So I think it's fine because you also was privileged to run forth, as well as see. So, how long have you been part of the studio task force? About a year. What do you find for the police officer? How many people are on the system? Yeah, this is why they call it on the army. And generally, how long do you need to be on the system? Very long. And do you probably think that would have been for the young paper on last Sunday before? So, can you explain how you came involved in this? Observers, observation analysis, it was not the relevant, the environment issues once, and the challenge and see it as a result for what you are about. And one causing the arrangements. It's I do run run these things. And what do you guys? Next one is into the black. The black is eating. Do you recall that seems to be now investigation as far as the incinerations for weekends? Generally, yes. Covered instrument includes the exhibit you recall. So you just have one on one. Next one is show.
Yes.
You recognize? Right. Wait. Rose. Smile. Forward around. Also, your regulation, regression. So you don't contact the defendant, you're interested in the actual investigation. You made contact, you began to carry out the investigation. What was the first step of the process? Yeah. What did you learn? Yeah, let me skip that part. Go to the CNS test. What was the person actually test? Yeah. Waterfall. And what is it? Because yeah, so involves okay. And then what were the results? All on hours. What was the sixth question? And in spreadsheet, if you hit all six of those. And what is that? With that industry alcohol, presence of and what did you do next? And what is the warrant? The warrant where the sluts, the subjects, that go up, this goal, 8 million. As I say, you know what? You know, just look at us. And what were the results of this investigation? We simplified to well, when did you do this? That's one of the more or less. And what is the lowest difference? Getting to know the population difference. And what were the results of this? On using side, also 0 or 4. And what did you do? Yeah. There's some that you talk circumstances where you've been informed and whether or not it was toxic. From the circumstances and the result of my investigation, the informed hearing was prosecuted, lawsuit, one of the located companies, or CPL. State House for Fleischer. Yeah, see, Jeff? Good afternoon, sir. Good morning. You wrote in your report that Mr. Alfaro was transported to the Pasadena jail for further investigation after he was detained at the scene, right? Okay, so it was your understanding he was transported to continue the PWI investigation, right? Okay, he wasn't under arrest for anything else as far as you were aware of. All right. Now, you mentioned that it takes 2 to 3 hours to complete the DWI investigation. Can you break down exactly what goes into that? Okay. Those 2 to 3 hours of investigation, that would be the contacts, those Okay, but the really when we're talking about an arrest, the relevant portion is usually much shorter than that, right? So you're talking about the personal contact stage and the arrest stage, right? Well, I mean, the point at which you get enough evidence to confirm that somebody's intoxicated or just confirm that somebody's intoxicated is much, much shorter than 2 to 3 hours, right? That takes into account looking procedures and things like that, right? Okay. Now, this wasn't a situation where there was an emergency going on, right? Okay. Even though the more experienced officer, Officer John, is actually certified to administer field sobriety tests and has done so in the past, correct? Okay. There wasn't a language barrier or anything like that, right? And in fact, the intersection where this all happened, there were parking lots, drugstore parking lots, places where DWI investigations are sometimes conducted, right? Okay. So, in other words, there was nothing to stop the DWI investigation from being conducted where it was there at the scene of the incident. What might you go to with that? So, what was the reason for moving this investigation to the jail? Okay, but if you had wanted to, right, not you, personal law enforcement in this case, had wanted to, this investigation could pursue more diligently. Objection, Your Honor, speculation. Well, create a lot of made state parties that we have suspicious states worldwide. States who are often used for all these state companies. So it could have been done more diligent, correct? Okay. That's good. Officer, the part held in this investigation. This investigation. Internally, there are people who are proactive, see, patients, yes. Typically, are TWI investigations faster or slower if you are in there to the outside function justice rather than if you are out of control? Keep that in the show. Level 30, John. Alright. Witness, can you see? Alright. Thank you, sir.
State anything further? Okay. So you hold on. You rest?
I'm going to admit from drive was 2 body cameras and then the theme body camera. And I'm not going to publish this right now. I'm just going to offer it as a part of the record. And I don't have anything to support, but we can call this Defendant Exhibit 1.
Have you seen this? Do you know what it is, State? And do you have an objection? Okay. All right. To be admitted. Defense 1.
Defense 1, Rush. without the rest. Okay. Okay. Enjoy. You understand all there's 3 arguments. First is that hey, I'm sure the officer got the probable cause to arrest the practice in the Trump violation. Upon that, the officer can see that the response to moving the lane of traffic with the violation of traffic section 5.5, 360 and 5.5, 1 the rest is fully authorized for sure the trail. Section 5.5, 5.1.001. Now, that means on the evidence, once the officer has transferred the form, there's separately the officer station required, which is you can clearly legal and program is on my native support me. Now, the alternative beyond the state would also be that the officer articulates any facts right, police legal suspicion that because driving law drives term, and the thing is stronger than public. Sleep is vehicle and significant to go. For the officers, also the time of the night, they always indicate that the price of the officers as science solution. He is trying to and for more investigation at my station and some of that is for the investigation to company station, the subsequent time it took to move the investigation was reasonable under the circumstances and served for general law enforcement purpose. That purpose was to give the investigation to an officer that would be more efficient in the investigation. This purpose is supported by a private face law. Those reasons. When we honored the appeals with Fort Worth found that 30 to 35 minute prolongment was reasonable circumstances for the purpose of the state. The officer can review the investigation over to specific female officer very deep person. Furthermore, the state the observed also show that probable cause existed at the scene. The totality of the circumstances and the sign of intoxication and the clear operational fronts that the officer had seen. Rose level probable cause for the officer to
Can you come up real quick, Blaze? Come up. Mr. Devil, come up. Sure, on the right. As a lawyer, as a person who just works in general, I really take pride in what we do. You know, when we do stuff, it's unprepared. This is not a joke, man. This dude that just came and testified now, the deer in headlights when you asked about the interview, completely and wholly unprepared in every single way. So I don't give any credence to that testimony right there whatsoever. I mean, it's like, how are you going to come? It's not a joke. You know, we take this completely serious. You know, you come here, you can't even recite what happened. You can't even do 5 minutes of the damn report. You know, really. So that, no credence whatsoever. So what I'm going to do now is I'll take a look at the facts surrounding what happened on the scene, and I'm going to make a decision and see whether you go forward or not. But I'm floored how you just can come in and just kind of, here, let me just, you know, it's not a joke. It's a life on the line here, and I really take it seriously, and I'm just angry about it. So anyway, I don't need it. All right, let me just take a look. I want to see that real quick, and then I'll have a decision here within a couple hours. Okay. All right. Thanks. Please. All right, lawyers, let's go. Just don't. Just it is what it is. You know, just.
This is one of those moments that hits harder than people realize. Judges aren't just referees, they're risk managers. When a judge talks about blood on my hands, they're explaining why past behavior matters. It's not punishment for old crimes. It's prevention of future harm. That single sentence explains the entire philosophy behind denying bond.